What's going on, everyone? We are back with another video, and we're still in, time in the off season where it's really just trade rumors. There's nothing going on. There are no trades. You're not having free agency. It's basically, people are just taking guesses on what's going to happen. With all the coaches moving around, and everything. You hear one rumor, and all the fans are just like, okay, what trades are happening? Why is it these trades good? Why are they bad? Blah 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 but basically, what I want to do is go through Twitter and look at some of the just look at the fan base's opinions on these trades. If you guys are ever on Twitter and you guys see these trade proposals, they're usually complete garbage. You have half of NBA fans who give realistic trades, and then you have half who are just completely absurd. I remember like a month ago or something, I saw something about Cleveland not wanting to trade Colin Sexton for Ben Simmons. They said they would have demanded Ben Simmons and like 2 first-round picks for Colin Sexton, something like that. That opinion is complete garbage. Ben Simmons is way better than Colin Sexton, and he's gonna be way better than Colin Sexton. As long as he stays healthy, of course. But yeah, Ben Simmons is 2-time All-Star now, 1-time or 2-time All-Star, I forget. But he's a top point guard in the league. He is, and yeah. But anyway, for I mentioned Ben Simmons because that's who we're going to be looking at for today's video. So I just liked a couple, I don't know, like 7, 8 of my, favorite proposals. Not necessarily like good proposals, but just like interesting proposals. So one of the first ones I saw was so it's a Bleacher Report proposed trade. 76ers received Bradley Beal and the number 17 pick from Minnesota. The Timberwolves received Ben Simmons, and the Wizards received Jarrett Culver, James Johnson, Josh Okogie, Jared Vanderbilt, the number 1 pick, and 2023 Minnesota first. So assuming Minnesota gets Ben Simmons, I still think the team would be trash because their depth isn't really that good right now. Obviously, it's very young and everything, but it's not good. And if you're trading away some of your, best, potential, and like Josh Okogie, I really like him, and Jarrett Culver, like that's just gonna make the team bad. I don't know what Ben Simmons is gonna do for the Timberwolves. Obviously, I would love him on the Timberwolves because with Karl-Anthony Towns and D'Lo, they don't have that defense. Like Cat and D'Lo are just not good defenders. So Ben Simmons comes in as an elite defender, as one of the best two-way players in the league, and I think would instantly help out on the defensive side. So yeah, as far as Timberwolves, you're giving up a lot of depth. You're giving up the number 1 pick, who's probably going to be either LaMelo Ball or Anthony Edwards, who, both of them, I don't think they're going to be as good as Ben Simmons anyway. And I don't see any of these guys. I haven't watched Jarrett Culver that much. But I don't think any of these guys, obviously not James Johnson. But like, I don't see anybody becoming like that guy or anything. So I think for the Timberwolves, you're also giving up the number 17 pick. But Ben Simmons is, in my opinion, one of the most underrated players in the game. I know he can't shoot, but I still think he's really good. The numbers he puts up is pretty dominant. And if he ever does, he's slowly progressing. He's slowly progressing his 3-point shot. But if he gets there to even a point where he can shoot like Russell Westbrook, let's say, if he can get to a point where he can get to that, he's going to be so dominant. I don't see, John Wall coming back and the Wizards being that good. I don't. I don't think they're the team that they were 3 years ago, was it? 3 years ago, was it? They were just going off, almost beat the Celtics and almost went to the conference finals. But that's the best team that they had. If John Wall comes back and he's not, what he was, then the team is just Bradley Beal, Rui Hachimura, And that's it. You know, just terrible defense outside John Wall. So in my opinion, I like giving up a player and getting what I can now. Bradley Beal, one of the most dominant scorers in the game. And again, you get role players. You get some role players. You get the number 1 pick and a 2023 Minnesota first, which with how incompetent the Timberwolves front office has been, odds are they're not going to put a good team together, and that first round pick is going to be really good too. All right, now we have a 3-way trade. James Harden to the 76ers, Ben Simmons to the Lakers, and Houston gets draft picks, multiple players from both 76ers and Lakers. Yeah, when I saw this, stupidest. So, like, that can't happen. There's no way the Lakers can get a player like Ben Simmons. They have absolutely nobody to give up. They don't. Who's their best player they can give up? Kyle Kuzma? Kuzma? Nah, bro, that is not it at all. There was a lot of rumors about Ben Simmons and James Harden trade, and I just wouldn't like Russ and Ben Simmons on team, and everybody basically agreed with that, saying that was stupid. But I just don't see how the Lakers can pull this off. Like, Houston just gets absolutely fleeced in this. Like, 76ers and Lakers are both good teams. I mean, if 76ers were to get James Harden, they'd be amazing. They'd be amazing. Ben Simmons with the Lakers, I mean, they have LeBron and AD. And now you put Ben Simmons under LeBron's wing. Oh my God. Talk about reaching his highest potential ever. But yeah, Houston, there's no way Houston gives up James Harden and only gets draft picks and other players from the 76ers and Lakers, because if the 76ers were giving up Joel Embiid, they would obviously say that, but obviously there would be no way the 76ers would give up Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid for just James Harden. This trade just doesn't work out. No matter what you do, this doesn't work out. The Lakers don't have the pieces to be able to make this trade work. So now we have another 3-way trade, or 4-way trade. We got Golden State receiving Ben Simmons and Buddy Hield, and I haven't looked all the way through this trade yet, so this is kind of my first time seeing this trade. So Golden State receives Ben Simmons and Buddy Hield. I did see that, and for Golden State, instant dub. 76ers receive CP3 and Andrew Wiggins. Thunder receives 2nd overall pick, Tobias Harris, and Josh Richardson. Sacramento receives Al Horford, Jordan Poole, and Kevon Looney. So, Sacramento is what? Just giving up Buddy Hield. They're just giving up Buddy Hield. Oh, that 2nd overall pick. In my head, I was thinking 2nd round pick. Okay, 2nd overall pick. That changes this, actually. Okay, so for Sacramento, they're getting Al Horford, Jordan Poole, and Kevon Looney back. I want like a 2nd or something, man. Because Buddy Hield is like Al Horford. They're taking on a terrible contract in Al Horford. Jordan Poole, I don't get where any of the hype was with him. I am a huge Michigan fan. I watched him at Michigan. I didn't think he should have gone to the draft, and then he got drafted by the Warriors in the 1st round with like one of the last picks. I don't know if it was the last pick. I don't see the potential that other people see. He's just so inconsistent. He has one good game. Or he has one good game for every 10 bad games he has. His shooting percentages were terrible. I don't see the potential in him. I just don't. I see him as like a 8th man on the roster. And then Kevon Looney, no. I don't like this for Sacramento unless they receive like a 2nd round pick or something with better potential, because they're taking a terrible contract and 2 players who I don't think will develop into anything. And they're losing Buddy Hield, so no. For the Thunder, they are giving up CP3, and that's it. They're giving up CP3, and they're getting the second overall pick, Tobias Harris and Josh Richardson. When I thought this was a second round pick, I was instantly like, no. But Tobias Harris, I think he can be, like a third, fourth option on a championship team. He's a really good scorer. Josh Richardson, again, I think he could be like a bench player. I mean, coming off the bench to Shea, I think that wouldn't be that bad. And you get the second overall pick, and you potentially get Anthony Edwards. I don't really think you need Anthony Edwards, but LaMelo Ball, who we know he's going to be a great playmaker. At the least, he's going to be a great playmaker. He has that same touch that Lonzo has. Defensively, he doesn't seem good. He doesn't seem disciplined at all. And the same thing goes with the shot. So that is obviously really risky. But CP, at the end of the day, it could just be a courtesy thing for the Thunder. What Chris Paul did for them. I mean, yeah, it could just be the courtesy thing, like the Thunder, just like, okay, man, like we just want you to retire where you want or something. And I think Philadelphia would be a good location with him and Joel Embiid. But they are. Oh, and I guess they get Andrew Wiggins too, which would be, I guess, as a third option to CP3 and Joel Embiid. Andrew Wiggins would be nice, and Chris Paul, I think, is a guy who could, get a lot of potential out of Andrew Wiggins. Now to the 76ers, they're giving up Tobias Harris and Josh Richardson, and Al Horford. Tobias, Josh Richardson, and Al Horford for CP3 and Andrew Wiggins. Yeah, I think that's a dub. I think they do that. Oh, wait, no, they're giving up Ben Simmons too. I don't like that, actually. I don't like that. I feel like they need something else back too. I think I'm a guy who believes in Ben Simmons as like he's going to be a superstar. CP3 near the end of his contract. What is he getting paid, like $40+ million? Andrew Wiggins getting paid like a crap ton. They're losing Tobias, Josh Richardson, and Al Horford. I just think they're losing a lot of money, or they're losing a lot, and they're not going to have much money left over, to build a quality team around CP3 and Joel Embiid. And I think they might need something else back. Again, at the minimum, a second round pick. But I just think Ben Simmons is so good. Like, I think Ben Simmons and CP3 are like near each other's level. But just because of Ben Simmons being so much younger, I think his value is so much more than Chris Paul right now. And now it's basically like, is Andrew Wiggins equal to Tobias Harris, Josh Richardson, and Al Horford? Tobias Harris and Al Horford both have terrible contracts. So you're getting off of that. For Andrew Wiggins, but then you're losing a little bit of depth in Josh Richardson. So that's really hard. If I was the 76ers, I really don't think I would do this trade. But for the Thunder, I guess I like it. For Sacramento, again, I didn't like it at all. And now Golden State, this is where I just thought this was so absurd. They get Ben Simmons and Buddy Hield in this, and they're giving up Andrew Wiggins, the number 2 pick, Jordan Poole, and Kevon Looney. I think Jordan Poole and Kevon Looney, again, are trash. So it's basically you're giving up Andrew Wiggins and the second overall pick for Ben Simmons and Buddy Hield. If I was them, instant dub. But I wouldn't. That's just ridiculous. They're getting so much more and giving away so less than everybody else. Because Andrew Wiggins, for his contract, he's overpaid. So it's like, that's how I look at it. Andrew Wiggins is getting overpaid for how good he is. And so it's kind of like, I consider that a bad contract, as a lot of other people would. So for Golden State, I would do the trade. The Thunder, I'd probably do the trade. But for Sacramento and the 76ers, I would not. I would hang up the phone immediately. Now we have Draymond Green and a first-round pick for Ben Simmons and Al Horford. I think that's a good trade. If this isn't a complete joke, because that's actually like the number 2 pick, not the first pick. But this has to be a complete joke. If this is not a complete joke, I don't know what it is. Like, nobody in the draft is gonna, in my opinion, is gonna be isn't like guaranteed to be as good as Ben Simmons. LaMelo, I think, could be. He's just so risky. Like, his potential's like way up here, but then like his floor is way down there. It's just like such a gap. It's not like Ben Simmons that he was the first round pick, even in a draft class that was really good, but like you knew what you were getting in him. Anyway, now we have another Cavs. Just like, what the fuck? Cavs trade Darius Garland and Kevin Love for Ben Simmons, then trade Drummond and their pick to the Warriors for Wiggins and the Warriors pick. Again, hold on. I'm gonna need a vid for. Okay, so someone was asking for a video, and I can't tell if this guy is real or not. Darius Garland and Kevin Love for Ben Simmons. What is that? And then Drummond and their pick to the Warriors for Wiggins and their pick. What? The Pistons just traded Drummond for a second round pick. How are you going to move up in the draft and get Wiggins for Drummond and their pick? That's just not happening. They're getting a better pick, and Drummond for Wiggins. I'll take Wiggins, even though again, I think he's overpaid. But at the end of the day, yeah, no, I don't want to be paying Drummond money at all. So now we got, do you think a Devin Booker, Otto Porter for Ben Simmons and Al Horford is a fair trade? I have not heard a trade of Devin Booker for Ben Simmons, but I don't totally hate it. Al Horford, terrible contract. I do think Ben Simmons is currently better than Devin Booker, but I think Devin Booker fits better with Joel Embiid. Ben Simmons, I mean, you're losing a lot of defense. But you need shooters. I think Devin Booker is very, very, very underrated. And I think he showed that in the bubble that he was able to lead. I mean, they went 8-0 in the bubble and almost made the playoffs. But again, I don't totally hate that trade. If I was the 76ers, I would try and get a pick. But I think Devin Booker showed that he can lead a team. And, if you put defense around Devin Booker, really just get some three. I mean, with Devin Booker, you're getting a lot of shooting. He can shoot it with the best of them. So, if I was the 76ers, I'd probably try and ask for a second. Again, but at the same time, the 76ers are giving a terrible contract and Al Horford up and freeing some money up, right? Because Ben Simmons and Devin Booker, I feel like, are making about the same. And then Otto Porter's making less than Al Horford. So, at the end of the day, you're actually getting rid of a bad contract, so I don't completely hate it. So, yeah. Now we got interesting rumors involving the Warriors. I'd rather... Okay. Oh, yeah. This guy's opinion, I think, was the reason I looked at this. Golden State may land Ben if they take Horford for Wiggins, the number 2 pick for salary match. First of all, what? What? Like, Ben Simmons. If I was the 76ers and I was talking about a trade with the Warriors, like, I demand Wiggins, Draymond, the number 2 pick, another future first round pick. Like, no way, bro. This trade. And then what this guy says, some interesting rumors involving the Warriors. I'd rather keep Wiggins and trade the pick straight up for Ben Simmons. So the number 2 pick for Ben Simmons, you think that that's a trade? Like, this is what I'm talking about. Fan bases are delusional, and I do the same thing with the Pistons. Whenever there's a trade rumor, I'm just like, yo, let's trade freaking Luke Kennard for LeBron James. The Lakers would love that. But yeah, this is just completely delusional. So we got 3 more left. I found the perfect 3-team trade with the Wolves. So again, this is very similar to the Wizards, 76ers, Timberwolves trade earlier. Just a little bit different. The Wizards are getting 3 picks, They're getting Malik Beasley, Josh Okogie, Jarrett Culver, and Juancho Hernan-Gomez. I like this a lot more now that the Wizards would be getting Malik Beasley too. And 3 first-round picks. Also including like the number 1 overall pick. I like this trade a lot better than the other one. The Timberwolves are getting Ben Simmons and Al Horford. They're losing a lot. James Johnson, Juancho Hernan-Gomez, don't really care too much about. So it's basically Ben Simmons for 3 first-round picks, Malik Beasley, Josh Okogie, Jarrett Culver. I think this is a lot closer to what Ben Simmons is worth than any of these other trades. I really think that. Oh, wait, they're only giving 2 first-round picks up. Sorry, not this one. So I do like this a lot more. And then the 76ers would be getting James Johnson and Bradley Beal. And the 76ers are giving up Ben Simmons, a first-round pick, and Al Horford. If I was the 76ers, I don't know. I mean, so you're getting Bradley Beal, giving up Ben Simmons, who I guess right now I would say Bradley Beal is better than Ben Simmons, and I think does fit the 76ers more than Ben Simmons, with that spacing. I mean, in my opinion, if I'm the 76ers, I'm not getting rid of Ben Simmons. I'd rather get rid of Joel Embiid. But if I'm the 76ers, I don't know if I'd want to get rid of Ben Simmons and a first-round pick. I just don't know if I want to do that. Maybe give up like 2 seconds or something. But even if this first wasn't here and it was 2 seconds, I would still do this trade probably. Because the Wizards, again, same reason as earlier. If Bradley Beal comes back or John Wall comes back and he's not the same, even if he is the same, they didn't make the conference finals. If I'm not mistaken, they lost to Boston before they made it to the conference finals like 3 years ago. 2-3 years ago. And that was like the best they did, so. Then we have here, okay, so this is only one. This is like one thing. League sources confirms the Houston Rockets trade interest in Blake Griffin. I'm totally on board with trading Griffin. Pistons in a huge rebuild. I just want us to tank. I want us to get some good players finally because we just don't have that star player yet. And it doesn't look like we're going to get that in this draft. Maybe, someone is just, a diamond in the rough in this draft and becomes amazing. Obviously LaMelo has the talent, but, we aren't going to be able to get LaMelo. But anyway, this guy said, I feel like getting Griffin. Okay, wait, no. This is. I can see a 3-way trade. Rockets get Blake Griffin. Pistons get Ben Simmons. Sixers get Russell Westbrook. Obviously, if I'm the Pistons, I'm 100% doing this. If I'm the Rockets, I'm not doing that straight up. I'm not giving up Russell Westbrook and only getting Blake Griffin back. If I'm the 76ers, if they could pull off a trade to get like a Buddy Hield next to Russell Westbrook and help with that shooting, I would be on board if I was the 76ers. Obviously, this means it's a compete now. In my opinion, I like young talent, who's really good, and that's literally Ben Simmons. And if I was the 76ers, I would keep Ben Simmons unless I got an offer too good to be true. But in the case of this trade, if I were to get Russell Westbrook, if I was able to trade for a guy like Buddy Hield, I'm basically just shooters around Russ, 3-and-D kind of guys, I wouldn't hate this. Maybe like if I was the 76ers, I'd probably try and get like a Robert Covington too, good defender and can shoot the 3. Then try and get Buddy Hield, and I think that would be a good roster. Again, Rockets, they need more than just Blake Griffin. Obviously Blake Griffin of 2 seasons ago when he was healthy. Oh my god, bro. Oh my gosh, if he was on a good team, MVP contender, bro. Oh my gosh, he was ridiculous. And arguably his best season of all time. Us getting Ben Simmons is a dub. But in my opinion, it does take more than just Blake Griffin. And if I'm the Pistons, I'm willing to give up Derrick Rose. I am very willing to give up Derrick Rose, Blake Griffin. I want the rebuild to happen. Ben Simmons would be that guy who could turn into a superstar for us. He could be that guy. I would trade a lot to get Ben Simmons. I would trade a first round pick and Derrick Rose and Blake Griffin to get Ben Simmons. And I think for the Rockets, you have Derrick Rose, James Harden, Blake Griffin, Robert Covington. I mean, if Blake Griffin turns into the guy he was 2 years ago, the Rockets are in a fantastic position. Obviously, if he's still dealing with injuries, which is probably why the Rockets would demand like a first round pick or something too. And again, I'd be willing to trade that. But yeah, that was all of the trade ideas that I saw. I just kind of wanted to show how insane, NBA fan bases are on Twitter.